When the aliens arrived, we knew we were in for trouble. And we see a future of conflict, of strife, against an enemy we have no hope of fighting. Many will try. Many will die. But this is a conflict we have no chance of winning. They come from far away with technology beyond our imagining. There is only one option for us. We must take this impetus, this new drive, to find a new home in the stars, to find a way for humanity to survive if the worst should happen. We must get away and survive for another day. Or else all will be lost. This is our mission. This is our purpose. We must leave. Okay, let's continue with our mission as Project Exodus to get the hell away from these freaky aliens. So last time we had begun consolidating our regions. We've got a large swath of sort of Eastern Europe and the Middle East. We're getting a good income now. We just need to now stabilize, get things protected, and we were wondering about our counselors. Now I realize at the end of the last one I asked a question about if we should fire and get a new replacement for this counselor, but since that video is not up yet, I don't know your answers, so we're just going to play with a little bit and see what happens, but your input will be appreciated, just figuring out what should be doing. Yeah, that's something that I still need to figure out, like optimized counselor picking play. There's not a huge guide community for the game yet because it's so new. Yeah, I need to figure things out. I think I need to consider the missions that they have available as well as their skills. And I kind of just picked her because we needed money at that time, and that was the main reason. And maybe in the long term that was not the best, because as it is, she can't do much except for capturing. We could maybe set her instead. You could finish up capturing some of these countries, but I'm not sure if we want to yet. We could tell her to go do an advise mission here in Kazakhstan, because I think that's kind of the most important one at the moment. And the advising boosts research output, combat capabilities, financial. We can actually just quickly check our nations list over here. We can see our own ones, and we can sort them by different things. So we can see our investment points. Italy is the highest, but we don't get the full share of that. We do have Czech Republic. We could maybe fully cap that to protect it. It might not be the worst idea to go for Czech Republic, Portugal, maybe Finland, and fully control those. So that we've got the investment points, which is basically what we get out of them to distribute to areas in the nation. We've got the funding, which is based on the GDP that we get out from them. So Italy is the highest, and then Kazakhstan is the next. Czech Republic, Portugal also. So I feel like that might not be the worst idea. Focus on maybe those three. Italy we don't control fully, so we go Kazakhstan, Czech Republic, and Portugal. And then, of course, boost. We've only got the one place that has that at the moment. Research. Italy produces a lot. Finland, Portugal, Czech Republic. So Finland doesn't actually give us a lot of income, but we can maybe increase that. And then we can look at, all their other stats, but that's not stuff we're getting out of there. And their technology level. And also sort here by unrest. Yemen and Afghanistan are very high, though most of ours are going down. I think for now, oh, it does cost us influence. I forgot about that. She's not even the best at capturing places. We could tell her to finish with Portugal. We actually are putting points in there for some reason. I don't know why. But now I feel like we've got sunk cost fallacy because there's points put in there already.
We'll bring this
I think we're going to do that.
our side.
We're now able to undertake the Information Science Lab project. So that's a lab that I think improves the knowledge as well. No, wait, no. It's just the information science technology stuff. So if we actually just quickly pause, there's something that makes the research a little bit more complicated. You can see that each research has a different category. So we've got one over here that's in the energy field. We've got one that's in the life science. We've got one that's in the material science. And then we've got the xenology, which we've been doing. And then there's also information science. Let's go look at the tech tree over here. Doesn't actually show. There's military science. I'd have to open the wiki quickly, but yeah. I'm not even sure if that shows up in the wiki at the moment. Anyway, so you get different things to boost all of those different aspects. So depending on our build, we definitely want to go for like a high-tech spaceship production thing. So we want to go for like materials and energy. We might not be so interested in human sciences because we're not really here to conquer the world. We're here to leave it. But a lot of those researchers are really useful. So it's hard to tell. And tell me where you think we should be putting our priorities. There's a social science lab project available. You can see a lot of explosions happening here. I'm not sure who's going to win that war. Okay, we completed Portugal. That's great. We can go there. We can check our priorities. Look, it doesn't hurt to have a second country with spaceflight program. So I might just leave a little bit on there. I'm going to put into unity, economy, wealth, and knowledge, so we can get our things shifting in our favor there. I might take off spoils. The problem with spoils is if you don't have enough in there. Ooh, interesting. The tooltip is broken. It was working yesterday. But spoils is basically the rich people. They want a certain amount of money, and if they don't get enough money, it also increases. Well, if they don't get enough money, I think it increases unrest and makes it easier for coups to happen. But it also adds CO2 emissions and stuff because it's like heavy industry and whatever. So I don't really approve of that sort of way of doing things. So we can turn it off there. But if you feel like it's thematic for us to be rich oligarchs wanting to leave the planet, maybe we should go for like a heavy spoils way of doing things. That's not my way, but yeah.
We failed to take control.
Didn't get Syria.
We've gained significant support.
Got them on. Yeah, we're really edging up close to our end of our capacity for earning there. Can do defend interests. Again, it costs us influence and we wanted to get another counselor. So maybe not the best for now. I'm going to put you into advising Portugal because it's one of our highest GDP ones at the moment.
Lending my expertise.
Ready?
You are very good at capturing, or is it you that's very good?
Acknowledged.
Acknowledged.
Ready for my mission.
Not actually sure. I think they're fairly equal. So what we could do is do some sabotaging in like Russia over here. We can look at the success chances. I'm so glad this is here. It's very low success chances. So it's not really worth it. We can do assassinations, though the only ones we can see at the moment are ourselves. We can go increase unrest in a place. So maybe we increase unrest in Russia so it's easier for us to capture. That's one method of doing that. They're putting a lot of money into army. Geez, look at that. When everything's a priority, nothing's a priority. So increasing unrest there could work, but you can see the success chance is really low. We could do that in Israel and maybe make it easier for us to do a coup there. But we would also want to increase support for ourselves. Otherwise, we might not actually get anything out of that. Actually, we could do a purge here in Israel, and we've got a 50% chance there. There's also Spain. We wanted to start expanding across Spain. Someone has already done a crackdown there. So doing a purge there in Spain is not the worst idea. Though again, we are running into this control point issue there, and this costs, 12 points there. Yeah, we can't afford that. Could maybe get Israel. It does complete, well, not complete, but help complete our little network in the Middle East here. So I'm going to try that. I don't want to use too much influence.
Removing our enemies.
And then you, I'm going to tell you to advise in Kazakhstan. Uses up our influence, but I don't have anything better to do at the moment. Increases the nation's research output by 1%, the effective GDP by 4%, and the performance of its armies and defense forces. So we need to remember that it's just research and just GDP. It doesn't affect boost, it doesn't affect anything like that. Army, research, and cash.
I will help them.
And her values were very different in Portugal. 2% for research, 6% for cash. So I'm not exactly sure. We could check in their missions. That's something that you can look at in your counselors. We can look at advised mission here. The counselor's science, command, and administration attributes will improve those things. So she's got good admin, so I think that's what giving her slightly better results. I wonder if they give different benefits into different things. You know, like admin, better science, and command, better military. Perhaps? Don't know how it's calculated. Someone's going to have to work that out.
Our people have taken control.
Okay, cool. We got that purge successfully there. So now we have effective control over Israel because we've got 1 out of the 2 points and you can't capture that one normally. I think there are some events that can happen where someone can sort of steal a control point out from you, but it's fairly rare. So I'm going to pump into that. It does look like there is a space program in Israel, though putting a lot of points into mission control is a waste because the amount of input you need to do there is terrible. So you can maybe put some boost in there because it's already getting there. I just want to put into Unity because we don't have much support here. We've got some more orgs available, though we don't have the influence to buy any of them. So I'm not even going to look at the moment. We do want to start doing that
Where to?
because they're really powerful. We do not have enough influence now to do the advise, so we can do surveillance. We maybe figure out more about some enemy commanders. Capturing, but we've only got 4 points, less than 4 points to use. Well, just about 4 points. So it would have to be something like fully capping Turkmenistan, which is 4.6, and we can't really afford that because then it's going to give us a influence cost every month to do this. So at this point, I'm not sure what we do. We can tell him to do some stabilizing in, I think it was it Afghanistan that was the highest? I think it was. It was either Afghanistan or Iraq. So let's reduce unrest there, help things out a little bit. I'm not going to put
We'll turn down the heat.
anything into that.
At your service.
You can try and detain an enemy counselor. 3% chance is not really worth it. Let's see, anywhere we can do a coup. We can do a coup in Afghanistan, but we have Afghanistan. Yemen, we could do a coup there because the unrest is so high, but we don't have much support there, so we'll probably end up just falling into someone else's hands. So that's Syria. Anyway, my point stands. Yeah, we've already got Yemen. But you can see because the unrest is so high, it makes it easy to get things in a coup. So what can we get you to do? Perhaps we can do the defend mission in Israel. We can do the defend mission in one of our other places. I'm going to tell you to just defend Kazakhstan because
On guard.
why not?
Standing by for order.
And you, we can maybe just tell you to lay low for a month. I'll just leave you
Evading
there.
pursuit.
Order is returning.
Stabilization in Afghanistan. Military science lab, so that's one that improves military research. And we should be just about finishing our own research soon. No, we're not. We're about halfway. Never mind. Our research is not too fast at the moment. Okay, what can we do this month? We can do an advise again, but I want to save up some ka-ching. I am starting to feel like
Ready
she's
to go.
fairly redundant at this point. We can do set national policy, but at this point it doesn't really do anything because it's like it says there initiate wars or do things like merging countries, but we only fully control a handful of countries. There's not much we want to do. We don't want to start a war, and we can't really do any mergers and stuff. I really am feeling like she might be more of a burden at this point. Though she doesn't cost us anything to keep around, she does give us money and influence, so it's not like she's a burden, she's just not doing much. We can perhaps increase her skills and or remove some of her problems, but those don't add missions or anything at the moment. Getting connected gives you more influence income. Eminent gives more influence income but reduces espionage when detected. Opinion leader, more influence, less espionage when detected, and more persuasion in nations where government, I think that's what it is at least 6. Gain trained counselor, persuasion in nations where I forget what that trait is. Which one is that? Is that cohesion? Different political polarizations and stuff like that. So we could maybe give her the thing to improve influence income because influence is a problem at the moment. So connected gives +3, eminent gives +6, but less espionage. She doesn't have any espionage at the moment, so maybe that doesn't hurt. I'm not actually sure if the calculations can go below 0. Hopefully they hard capped at 0. So maybe it doesn't hurt to do that for her because she's already well, she's not really famous, but she is a business leader. So thematically it might make sense. So I think let's do that. Make her eminent, give her more influence income. Now we get a whole lot more. Level up achieved. We can look at our other people over here. They gain XP over time. Some of the augments you get can be more expensive. Like you see this one we can't get because it costs 40. See, this one actually gives you a mission control nation. He already has it, so it doesn't matter. Removes the connected trait, so it's like an upgrade for connected. We can just make him affluent, give more income, gives more security in home nation and investigation. Survivor makes you harder to kill, more security. Or we can just increase some of their other skills as well. I might just save up for a while until we figure out exactly what his role is going to be. Though he has been pretty good at control nation, which is the persuasion. Persuasion also increases the influence generation by 1%. And he gives a decent amount of influence, so more persuasion is good. Investigation is used in investigating. Wow. Also helps increase the chances of sighting enemy counselors. That's quite cool. Espionage makes them harder to detect and do covert operations. Command gives ops income increase. Admin allows you to get more orgs and +1% to your money. And science increases their research. High scores also help defend our interests against alien activity. And security helps them survive violence. We can remove the indulgent trait. Spends a lot of money on personal gratification. Monthly income -2. -4 loyalty when our money is 0 or less. Or income. So it doesn't hurt to remove some vices from someone. Like he's also got corrupt. He's indulgent and corrupt. It does increase espionage but lowers loyalty. Reduces income but does give influence. But we can just remove indulgent and that doesn't hurt. We can also give him prosperous, but basically we get the same by just removing the indulgent. So that seems like a no-brainer. Let's increase stability again. Let's just double check. Where's stability? Yemen, Afghanistan, Iraq. So maybe we get you to do that down here. I'm just going to keep him doing
I'll
defense
keep them safe.
because we don't really afford doing anything else. She could perhaps advise, though I want to keep some money, so maybe we go to another country to do
Going
that.
into hiding.
Mum's last years were a blur of doctors and treatments. By that point, every movement was painful. The one thing she loved was her aquatic therapy. Whenever I was home on leave, I'd take her to the pool for hours. Weightless, smiling, free. Commander Fiona Ayawade, Junior Psychological Evaluation.
Answering the question, what gives you strength in difficult times? Okay, so that was the Academy completing, well, the entire world completing, with the Academy giving the most research efforts to orbital shipbuilding. They've selected deep space propulsion concepts as new direction, so I'm happy with that. The old rules of aerospace cease to be when there is less aero and more space. Craft built for the purpose of traveling, transporting, and fighting in space have greater allowance for design versatility when friction and drag are no longer an issue. Materials can be more dense, and designs can be more utilitarian. This does mean, however, that ships built for space must be built in space, at least if we are to avoid time-consuming and costly haulage from Earth, not to mention finding room for the colossal factories. Once the sizable initial investment is complete, orbital shipyards will provide an essential anchorage from which commerce, construction, and combat vessels alike will be born. Following technologies can now be researched, the principles of space warfare, and the following projects will unlock lithium-sulfur batteries, saltwater batteries, molten salt batteries, molybdenum pipe radiators, interplanetary warships, liquid hydrogen containment, space docks, and supply depots. So a lot of stuff is coming down the line from this research, which is great. And yeah, getting an orbital shipyard would be fantastic. That'll be like one of our near-term goals, is to start building up in space. That's why we want to build up our boost. Okay. So this is where things change up after the beginning of the game. The new normal. The initial global upheaval in response to the alien arrival has calmed somewhat, with various political and economic interests recognizing that whatever the aliens are doing, the end of the world is not immediately upon us. With the sense of emergency fading, entrenched power structures are reasserting their authority, and humans are spending more time worrying about each other than about the aliens. In short, our moment to strike quickly is passing. Our counselors report that their missions are taking longer to plan and conduct, as they must navigate the old protocols for travel, security, and international contacts. We can still move forward, and some of our missions will have a greater impact as we spend more time on them, but everything will take longer to accomplish now. The missions assignment phase will occur twice a month going forward. It was every week now it's twice a month. So it's just a way for the early game to, I think, go a little bit quicker. And now we sort of settle into the mid-game phase. Well, it's not really mid-game, but early mid-game. That is another thing I would ask. So far, I've just been showing pretty much everything, just cutting out like dead air. If you feel I should cut out more or show more, or just cut to big events, let me know, because these things can get quite long, and we've only done a few months now. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so I think we can just keep you at protecting and defending and maybe advising now. So if we get twice a month, that means we're going to get 15 influence between each of these phases. We just need to save up basically 1 month. So I think, because it does feel stupid to not do anything for multiple months. Defend interest costs 20 and advise costs 10. So I might just do an advise. Let's actually look at Tiagon Station, see can we afford to actually do anything here. We can. Got the Life Science Lab, gives +5 research, +3% life science, costs energy, costs 2 monies, and water and volatiles. We need to build some solar collectors. How much power do we have on this place? I think it by default just has none. So we would have to build a solar collector anyway. So let's see. Gives us 10 power. So we could get 2 of these things. It'll cost us a total of 5 money per month, plus additional costs for the boost over time. Yeah, well, we can only afford to do one thing at the moment, building the solar collector, because it costs 1.5 boost anyway. So we could just save up and see perhaps if we get moon missions before then, because there's no point building something if we can't do anything with it. We got another alien fleet coming to Earth's orbit. Pt3 has arrived. Gonna do some more of its nonsense.
On guard.
Offering assistance.
Okay, she's improving stuff. UFO has crashed in Kazan in Russia. So this is actually something we might want to pay extra close attention to, because that's right next door. So we could potentially get this run over of alien xenoforming coming onto us. So definitely we want to pay attention to that in the next cycle. New project available, Energy Lab.
Things are stabilizing.
Reduced unrest in Yemen to guerrilla war 7.5.
With each passing day, humanity shatters the boundaries of the possible. It is our certain destiny to move mountains at the touch of a button. We need only the will to do so. And your generous investment, of course. Chairman Soren van Wyk, opening remarks during Western Armory's annual earnings call.
That guy does love money. So another global research has completed, advanced electromagnetism. The Academy, again, putting the most effort into it, and has selected mass drivers. I'm happy with that because that unlocks the ability to go to other techs that we're going to need. To meet the alien arrival in kind, we will require a paradigm shift in our own technology. We must reach the stars, both so that they can become a staging ground for the advancement and defense of humanity, and so that we can tap their remarkable resources for ourselves. In addition, to counter the advanced weapons our rivals might wield against us, we will require bleeding-edge armaments of our own. Our scientists believe that the best way forward is via magnetics on a hitherto unprecedented scale. Their tests have successfully demonstrated that precise sequential firing of a row of powerful electromagnets can grant incredible acceleration to a moving object. In time, they believe we will be able to apply this to a handheld weapons projectile to rapidly catapult resources from deep space to our facilities, or to build a spacecraft capable of boosting their propulsion to reach once impossible speeds and destinations. Furthermore, they theorize that powerful magnetic fields may be used to contain new and unstable forms of energy. These latest advancements are but a gateway to a brighter future. We cannot yet wholly dispense with the old ways of propulsion, transport and containment, but certainly a reality where we can dramatically augment them with magnetic force is within reach. The doorway to tomorrow yawns open. The doorway to tomorrow yawns opens. No. That's a spelling mistake. The doorway tomorrow yawns open before us. The following technologies may now be researched: advanced superconductors, magnetic field force manipulation, mass drivers, and vacuum electricity. I can't speak tonight. Blah! So, great new technologies coming, and it's all very exciting. We're definitely not been contributing the most amount of science to things. 29 compared to them doing stuff in the 30s and 40s. So over here we are 209, and then others. So actually we are ahead of some of the others in different technologies, but the Academy is always just ahead of us. Once we start upping our research ability, we might get there. And I believe by putting a focus into education, we do get more research. Education level, economy, cohesion, democracy, and unrest. So it all combines. It's a very complicated intertwining of these parameters to give you different results. I do think that's something that we want to go for. Saltwater batteries, not important to see right now. Panic! Widespread panic about the aliens appears ready to break out in Sana'a. Let me know if that's incorrect. Rumors about alien experiments on people in the area have led to distrust of the government's ability to keep people safe. Authorities are fearful of civil unrest. Let it run its course. Cohesion changes by 2 towards extreme values. Unrest increases by 3. That's quite large. Calm the public, but we don't have enough influence. Cohesion only changes by 1. Deploy our forces to quell any disturbances. Democracy score changes by 0.0 0.01. Let us use this opportunity to grow our wealth and influence, gain stuff. So if we, with the initiative, you can gain money and influence. So lots of exploiting of humanity when you're them. Let's just look at, so if we do deploy forces, democracy score changes. I believe that's, is the democracy score the same as the government score? Yes. Yeah, it is that. So the government increases, so decreasing it decreases democracy. So decreasing it, so government increases with knowledge and decreases with unity. Interesting. So unity isn't always, so if we have extreme unity, you would be extremely totalitarian. Interesting. It's a change. I don't really want to change the cohesion, because if we go cohesion, change that by 2, so I think that would go down, fragmenting things a lot, and that would basically put it at almost nothing. So I think let's deploy the forces for now and see what happens. So totalitarian has, yeah, gone down there. You'll see what happens. Okay, so what can we do? We can't afford to do the alien crash investigation. We don't have enough ops. That's not great. We can do a surveil location over there.
Setting a watch.
It does suck that we can't do the investigation right away. We can do a contact with enemy faction counselor. Costs us influence though, but you can do trade deals and stuff that way. Though I don't really want to spend influence at the moment, we're kind of saving it up. Yeah, I really feel like she needs better options of things that she can do. We can get a games company, gives us command points and assault alien assets. At least that will give her something to do, but she doesn't. Oh, that would give her 4 or 5 command. It's not really what she's meant for. Doesn't cost us anything long term, because some of these orgs have monthly costs. This is just a money cost to buy right now. You can always sell it later. At least it gives her something more to do. See, that uses one org out of her cap. She has org capacity from admin 1 of 6. So that's now increased her command. So Jolt Games gives her the assault alien asset mission. Lead a combat unit against a fixed alien asset. So it just gives her a little bit more, or we could just sell that for a little bit of cash down the line. Yeah, so that's first org we've bought. Probably one of the least impactful ones you can get. You can get some really powerful ones like the FBI over here. Look at the amount of missions you get from that. Costs a lot, but it also gives you a lot of other traits or attributes. So go to weigh these things up. We can afford 2 of these people. We've got a tech mogul and a scientist. He gives research, doesn't give ops. This one gives research and lots of money and influence. Pakistan and France. Rich computer scientist, eminent, transparent. Apparent loyalty always set to actual loyalty. That's quite cool. Computer scientist is actually quite useful because there's certain events that can happen where having a computer scientist might be useful. She can also do a public campaign, which is something we haven't had access to. Can do steal project, hostile takeover, surveillance, public campaigns. Can't do the purge and stuff thing that our other one could. Can do a control space asset. The scientist dude can do sabotage and steal project. Low profile chemist. Material science bonus. I kind of like her at the moment. Her loyalty is not great. We actually know her loyalty for once because she's got this transparent. 6 is out of 20, I think. So below half, below almost 30% or whatever. I don't know. Okay skills or attributes. Traits give us money, and the computer science is useful. And more information science research doesn't hurt. We can always change out again later with that other person because we're not making enough influence. We have to wait another month before we get another one. This one at least we can do public campaigns with to boost things in a nation. We can steal projects so we can get research. And we can also use them to go and persuade stations to do stuff. I'm going to do it. Might not have been the best option, but you can tell me what I've done wrong. Because now we can do the public campaign and we can say, well, maybe we want people in Russia to like us more. Because we want to get Russia. No time to chat. Where do you need me? Yeah, well, that's the plan. They are protected, but not against public campaigns. We can also look at where things would be more successful. We can do it in our own countries. Let's actually look at all of our own nations. What do they think of us? Some of them really don't like us, like Oman doesn't like us, Jordan doesn't like us. So maybe we make our own like us more before we start getting others. So Oman might be a good idea. So we didn't adjust the spending over here. So the public campaign uses money to influence us, but success chance is pretty decent there already.
Ready for my mission.
So now she can do assault alien assets, and there are actually, we didn't even notice this. Oh no, we did see this before. Alien life forms in Ouagadougou over here, so we can send them there. We can spend ops, but we want to save up some ops because we don't have. So it's only a 58% chance, but doing this will help prevent the spread of alien life forms around the continent. Can actually get out of control. I'm not sure what happens in the very later stages, or we could strategically like let it go in a place so that like our enemies get reduced abilities because of that infection of alien stuff there. But at this point, let's do this.
Going in hot.
Only 58% chance, but at least that gets her doing something. Russia continues to send troops into... oh, we just got a new project, Space Dock. We would definitely want to get that. Latest update that has caused a few of these UI things to go wrong. UI Intel sellable resources is gone, and then there was one other thing earlier that was a little bit wrong. Maybe I just need to verify my files or something. New project available, interplanetary warships, allows construction of 30mm autocannon, 6-inch cannon, 10-inch cannon, the crate missile bay, and then the ship bodies of gunship, escort, and corvettes. We'll get into ships when we can. Very excited to. Space!
People will come to our side.
So, public campaign mission success in Oman, increased public support 16%. And we can tell her to do it again next month. Hey, she actually did it. 50-something% chance, 58%, and went in there, assaulted the region, and we believe we have wiped out the invasive flora and fauna. Good job, lady. So yeah, now that's gone from the map. It seems like we have done the thing. We can go look at the map for xenoforming level, and it seems to have all vanished. Though we can see now we've got a set of it in Russia. And I have no idea what happens when we go up to like a later stage of that. Okay, so we can get you to go assault alien asset in Kazan in Russia. 60% chance.
Heading to the LZ.
We still can't
I'm here.
get this guy to do the investigate alien activity. We need 5 ops. We're a little bit away from that. I'm going to do another surveil here because there's stuff happening here for sure. I think I'm just going to do more defense
On guard.
in our valuable places.
We're winning their hearts and minds.
Public support changed by 12%. Let's do it one more time. But we can look at that, and yeah, we've got now the highest, except for the undecided people.
Target still in one piece.
We were repelled by the target's defenses and failed to do any damage at the
Wrapping up
alien
here.
site.
There are 2 types of people in this world. Those who think only of home, and those who think only of leaving home. Director Khalid Al-Ashgar, Archival Online Dating Profile.
Exodus. Peace out, bro. So scientists around the world have gained a full understanding of outpost habs. So that's allowing us to build colonies off-world. While we have long been able to provide a few months of off-world comfort to a small handful of highly trained astronauts, the time has come to strive for something longer term and even indefinite. Our newly developed first-generation outpost habitats are the product of engineering built on decades of experience in the most hostile corners of Earth. A far cry from our earliest ventures, which were exclusively designed for scientific research, this new breed of space station is built for versatility, to provide off-world homes for dozens of souls, and for more walks of life than astronaut and engineer. Aside from essential life support and power functionality, the outposts designed with a space future in mind. Each outpost, already a marvel in its own right, is capable of being further customized depending on each one's specific mission parameters. The following technologies may now be researched: mission to Mars and mission to the Moon. And they have gone for mission to the Moon. Fair enough. How are researchers looking? We're very close to finishing the alien flora thing, and we can start choosing what to do next. Project complete. We have completed the alien flora project. There was a finite amount to be gleaned from our study of the vegetative life form we have dubbed xenoflora, but not a lack of trying. The issue is that we have thus far been unable to fully crack its genetic makeup, for elements thereof are so, for lack of a better word, alien, as to be fully inscrutable to us at the present time. Neither have we been able to divine any clues as to its origin, other than to say that it is most certainly not of this earth. While we have previously observed some correlation between xenophore growth and alien crash sites, causation now seems highly probable. Yeah, I would think so. Even its behavior supports this conclusion. It spreads faster than any terrestrial flora or even fungus, and with eerie, almost machine-like regularity. To suggest that the xenoflora has been in some way genetically altered or even wholly designed would not be an unreasonable hypothesis. If left unchecked, it could very likely colonize the region in record time, preventing the growth of all other flora. To what end, we do not yet know. It would therefore be prudent to find a way to limit the organism's spread, whether through military or biological means. Okay, so now we've got a whole lot of new researchers we can look at. Clandestine cells would be great because we can get another counselor. That's high priority. Energy lab for energy research, information science lab. Interplanetary warships would be great as well, but we can't build ships at the moment, so it's not high priority at the moment, but we do want to do that, especially since we know about building spaceships. Military science, operations research just gives us ops. We are short on ops, but I don't feel like doing research on that now would be beneficial. Outpost core, I think, should also be high priority. Allows us to build a control center to start a base on a planet. Space dock will be extremely important as well. We could even build that on Taigong as well. And xenology lab for boosts to alien detection and alien research. So not a bad idea to get. I think clandestine cells, outpost core, space dock are our priorities. The cheapest of those is actually outpost core. So I think 300 research for us, how long would that take us? We should be able to do clandestine cells first and then still do outpost core and be able to go to the moon. Because the long-term benefits of this, having a counselor early will be good. So I'm going to do that, and perhaps we should be finished in first. Oh, estimated completion November. Okay, changed my mind. July, June. We might get there sooner with a little bit of research. Okay, yeah, sorted. I was going to comment on something. I forgot what I was going to say. But we can look at the moon, and you can see we've got various sites on there. We can see that there are only a couple places with potential water reserves, and those will be a priority. We want to get those so that we sort of cut off our competitors, because having early access to water will be extremely powerful. Because water, if we can get a high value there, we won't have this high cost to our maintenance of things in space. Though the chances are it might not be that high. If we get a low value, somewhere about 3 or 4, just the upkeep of our buildings will be more than we're going to be getting out of it. So bit of a dice roll. You can see it says 3 to 8 or 0 to 10. It might be 0, it might be 3, or it could be 10, and then we would be getting a nice amount of potential water mining over there. We'll see. We'll get our probes and stuff doing things soon. We can also build things in orbit. We could even potentially build a platform around our planet. We don't have any free mission control, so that is something we're going to need before we can even build a moon base. So we might also need to look at increasing our mission control development in some of our nations. So we can look at mission control. As it is, all our mission control comes from the one point in our faction headquarters. So we might want to go to some of our countries, perhaps adding in mission control there. Israel, Kazakhstan, I think are our options there. We can build it in all of them, but it just like thematically, I like the idea of being there. So if we look at Kazakhstan here, mission control, we'll get another point of mission control when this 6.5 goes up to 25. We go up. I'm not actually sure exactly how much it goes up per cycle. Yeah, we kind of just have to wait for that. We could do direct investment and say, hey, go mission control. We put in a lot of money and we'll get 4 points added onto that. So instead of being at 6, we'll be at 12. So we're getting 21% of the 7 development points that we get there. So whatever 21% of 7 is how much that's going to increase. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit tired now. I've been playing the last 2 episodes of this back to back. So I think I asked a bunch of questions. If you've got any input or, want to tell me how we should develop and flee Earth, because Project Exodus needs all its help to build its ship to get the hell out from these aliens. Though I am kind of curious about what the aliens are and their motives. So check me next time. Thanks for tuning in, and yeah, like and subscribe. Okay, bye.